Good afternoon. You're listening to the new WCEG Network on WCEG TalkRadio.com. You may watch us on your smart TV, on YouTube and LinkedIn, on the WCEG Network, or Facebook and Twitter, WCEG Talk Radio. My name is Dr. Ronald Tolbert, and this is Pause Sensitive. I'll be your host for this afternoon. We'll be talking about spaying and neutering your pets. Welcome to the Worldwide Community Empowerment Group, where we speak life into the community. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and on Instagram at WCEG, lowercase talk, lowercase radio, and at WCEG Network. The opinions expressed on the show today are my own, and they are not the opinion of WCEG Network. First of all, let's begin with spaying and neutering. Basically, spaying is of the female dog, and you use these techniques to make sure that your dog cannot reproduce, and that's the main reason why you do it. Occasionally, what will happen is you'll use this to help eliminate undesirable behavior, such as roaming or running away. In the female, it's actually a very hysterectomy where you remove both the ovaries and the uterus in the pet. This gets to the point where they are unable to have pets, to have babies, rather. If you do this at a young age, most of the time you will eliminate a lot of undesirable behaviors. What behaviors are we talking about? Well, basically, roaming is one of them. The other is that you will not have to worry about finding homes for puppies, which, by the way, will be in competition, with the shelters where they're trying to give away pets where they're already having trouble to do so. So we don't want to do that as well. The other thing that you have to keep in mind is that female dogs will have some of the similar problems that actually women will. Later on in life, if they're not fixed, then they can have breast cancer or infected uteruses, or even to the point where they can have ovarian cancer. So some of these things will always be eliminated if you spay them early. The heat cycle in the dog, if you're not aware, can start anywhere from 6 months to a year. And let's rest regrets for a moment. Let me tell you a little bit about myself and my office. Again, I'm Dr. Ronald Tolbert. I run and operate Red Oak Animal Hospital in South Fulton, Georgia. We've been here for approximately 37 years. We service probably a 10 to 20 mile radius area that includes Fulton, Fayette, Clayton, Newton, and sometimes the greater Atlanta area. Early on, I did and service large and small animals. I only service small animals at this point. I went to school at Tuskegee University. At that time, it was Institute, but I got my BS in animal science and my master's in parasitology, which is the study of parasites, with a focus on heartworm disease. I then left there and went to the University of Georgia, where I got my Doctor of Veterinary Medicine degree in 1983, and I started practicing shortly thereafter. I went to work for several veterinarians for about a couple of years, but I decided I wanted to open my own practice, and that began in 1988. We enjoyed working with my clients. I think we have the best clients in the world. I enjoyed teaching. We take care of many interns from either Tuskegee University or the local high schools. Also in Fort Valley, where I sit on the board of Fort Valley. And we try to make sure that these kids get a great start, to learning how to be veterinarians and how to be veterinary technicians. So let's get back to the subject at hand. I think that the one thing that people need to realize is that spaying is doing a good service for your pet. I think that some owners will project their own feelings and concerns on their pet because they think, well, I don't really want to spay it because I wouldn't want to spay myself. Well, It's kind of not the same. You have to understand that this is not going to change your baby. This will be the same Fifi that it was before you did the procedure. It will not change her attitude. It will not change her activity level. She will still have the same energy. She will still love you, and she will not hold anything against you. The other thing that some owners will do is you have to realize that some of these pets will gain weight after this. The weight gain usually a lot of times is because some owners are trying to compensate for what they feel is something that they did wrong to their pet. So they'll give them extra treats, give them extra food, and next thing you know, they're gaining weight. So this is something you want to avoid. Now let's go to cats. And I think that a lot of people will get caught in a trap with cats because there's one thing that you have to realize about cats. They are stimulated ovulators. In other words, if they have relations with another male, they're just about guaranteed to have babies because just by the act of having, the copulation, then they ovulate automatically. And this is why they hardly ever miss. The other thing you have to remember is that after they give birth, within 10 days, they can come and heat again and actually get pregnant while they're nursing babies. This is why sometimes you see somebody had a whole bunch of cats around their house, is because they get caught in this trap. They need to understand that they can spay the mama cat within days after giving birth without any ill effects to the babies. So you want to keep that in mind as well. Now, let's turn ourselves to neutering. And I understand that a lot of people, especially men, will have problems with this, but I'll tell you, male dogs will have some real undesirable behaviors and they will have some real undesirable medical problems later on if you don't consider taking this next step. Neutering is just what it says. It's actually a castration where you remove the testicles, which, are the ones that produce the testosterone, which enables them to reproduce. Let's keep in mind, though, that, for instance, in cats, male cats have a bad habit of spraying. They will urinate all over your house just by marking the territories. And I don't know if any of you have ever smelled a tomcat urine. It will run you out of your house. So it behooves you to have them fixed long before that happens. Usually within 6 months is soon enough, either for spaying or neutering. The other thing you want to keep in mind is that in dogs, they can have the similar problems that men have. They can have prostate cancer. They can have prostate tumors. And these are the type of things, again, that you're trying to avoid. The typical reasoning why people don't get it done is because, well, I don't want that done to myself, so I want to do it to my dog. Listen, they're not going to miss what they never had. And besides that, you will eliminate a lot of undesirable behaviors. For instance, male dogs tend to fight, even if they're brothers. There's a dominance thing that they have to deal with. So one's got to be top dog and one's got to be on the bottom. And I find a lot of times that clients will bring me pets with a lot of laceration, a lot of bite wounds, and in pretty bad shape because they got into fights. Because again, that testosterone is telling them to do the things that they don't need to be doing. Most of the times you will notice this. Sexual maturity is going to occur probably around 8 months to a year. Then all of a sudden you're going to learn that your little boy is not a little boy anymore. He is now a teenager doing all those wonderful things that we as teenagers used to do. And again, some of those behaviors are undesirable. They're going to run off. You're not going to know what they are. When they come back, they all beat up. So these are the kind of things you're trying to avoid. And it's the same thing in cats. Male cats are notorious for coming in our hospital with blowed up faces and abscesses. And this is the kind of thing you want to avoid. Again, they can gain weight. If you're not careful by cutting back on their food, don't give them those extra treats. And that's something, again, that you really want to avoid. Later on, you might want to think about adding some other pets by adopting if you want. If you've got just one pet, sometimes it's good to have a companion. But again, make sure they're fixed. The other thing is sometimes people will have brothers and sisters from a litter. And they kind of wait too late, and that's probably not a good thing. Incest usually creates problems in terms of extra toes, abnormalities that you're trying to avoid. Again, this is something that you need to take seriously because you're probably doing them a favor, okay? We have so many unwanted pets everywhere that we really need to take this seriously. I think that a lot of people don't realize that when we went into the Gulf War and we had military people that had to go out on service, they couldn't take their pets with them. And a lot of them ended up in shelters. A lot of them were abandoned. And again, a lot of them were pregnant and had babies, and they had no, the shelters got filled up and we really didn't have the space for them. So this is another reason why you would consider this. On top of that, you will find that people who don't neuter their pets and they kind of get in trouble with having too many babies, they will, sad to say, abandon these pets. I've even seen where they will just leave them on the side of the road or just let them go on their own, which is, a deplorable thing to do, but it happens. Some of the other things that you want to remember is that when you get this done, your pet's going to be a lot healthier, a lot happier. It's not going to change anything about their attitude. Okay, you will not have to worry about them being aggressive, especially toward your children. If you got young children and you got a male dog, they will tend to get a little aggressive, and that's not something that you want around your children. You need to make sure that as they're growing up, that if there are children or anyone else in the house, they all treat your pet the same. If everybody treats them differently, then you're going to have a confused pet, and that's going to create more problems. They tend to get destructive. Of course, you don't want them tearing up your furniture. You don't want them chewing up, your nice shoes. So these are the kind of things that you're trying to avoid. And all of this can probably be curbed a little bit just by a little bit of care and making sure that they are neutered and seen about at an early stage. The later you wait, the more riskier the surgeries become, because you have to remember, this is done under anesthesia, and anesthesia is always a risk. So we learn to take that risk when they're young, as opposed to waiting until they're getting into the older stages. I think that if there's anyone that has any questions, feel free to come in on our chat line. I'm available to answer any of your questions if you have any. Moving on, I think the other thing that we need to be aware of is that when we're dealing with cats, again, they can proliferate very quickly. So the best thing to do, if you have a bunch of cats, make sure you get your males fixed first. If you don't have any males, then you don't have any problem with, the females getting pregnant. The other thing about female cats is that they are what we call seasonally polyestrous. In other words, they go in and out of heat constantly, especially in the spring. The only time they're not in heat is when they get pregnant. So I've actually had people come to me and actually think that there's something wrong with their cat. They say, well, he's acting strange. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's blowing up on me. He won't leave me alone. He's just making all this noise and he's so vocal. And after I hear that description, I said, ma'am, there's nothing really wrong with your cat. She's in heat. You probably need to get her fixed and that will stop. So again, there's a lot of things that people don't realize about their pets. And we're just here to try to educate you as to the type of things that you really need to do to take care of them. As a matter of fact, I think that we probably tend to do at least 5 or 6 spays or neuters a week. We can do more. There are a lot of spay and neuter clinics out there that will take care of this for you. And again, this is something that you need to take seriously. Some of the things you have to do before you get them spayed to make sure that they're properly vaccinated, that they're protected against heartworms, and that they're in good health. These are all the things that you will need to do before the surgery can be performed. It is relatively safe. It is relatively short. Most of these procedures can be done within 30 to 45 minutes. And you drop your pet off in the morning and you'll have them back that afternoon. Recovery time is usually a week to 10 days. After the suture removal is done, then it's all over. So don't think that they're going to be in a lot of pain or that they're going to be suffering after this. Again, these procedures are pretty quick and they rarely have much discomfort afterwards, but we do give the pain medication just in case and give you instructions on how to take care of for that 7 to 10 days. No chasing cats and running after cars, things like that. And, within a week or so, they'll be right back to normal. We hope that you will seek our advice when you are thinking about having your pet neutered. There are several different areas and places where you can have this done. You can also look on our website at www.redoakah.com. Rather than going to Google. Remember, Dr. Google doesn't have a medical degree. It would be better if you research websites that have veterinarians on board. For instance, the American Veterinary Medical Society or the Georgia Veterinary Medical Association. Both of those links can be found on our website, again, at redoakah.com. You will find some videos there and also a link to the American Veterinary Medical Association so that you can research properly what you're looking for. Again, Google is not the best place to be looking to find good information. You may also call us at 404-767-8513. If we don't answer right away, please leave a message and we will return your call and try to answer your questions as best we can. Right now, Red Oak Animal Hospital probably serves upwards of anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 clients and probably at least twice that many pets in a year's time. So we do see a lot of patients in here. We do see a lot of cases that are related to the reproductive system. A lot of times we will find dogs that that have been bred and unfortunately can't have the babies. And that means they have to get a cesarean section, which is another reason why you probably want them to get them spayed or neutered, because these type of things happen quite often. We've had situations where patients will come in where they'll have an infected uterus, and that is something that's life-threatening. So again, if you do have questions, you can always call us at 404-767-8513. And you may speak to myself or my receptionist, Brittany. She's very knowledgeable, and we'll be able to answer your questions at any time. The best time to call us probably is going to be early morning or late afternoon. Again, if you don't get us right away, just leave a message. We'll be sure to call you back. I think that the main thing, again, to remember is that you're doing your pet a favor. This is not something terrible that you're doing to them. All right. Again, you're trying to make sure that you alleviate bad behaviors. Again, you're looking at trying to stop aggression. You're trying to stop the roaming. You're trying to stop improper elimination. Again, you don't want pets messing all over your house. You want to stop certain diseases and cancers that your pets may have later on in life. All these things are worth doing and are worth doing to love your pet. So please take my advice and get them fixed as soon as possible. And again, if you got any questions about or concerns, again, this is not a terrible thing that you're doing to them. But be sure to go on our website again at redoakah.com and call us, and we'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. I think that's probably all I have for today. I appreciate that if you give us a call, we'll let you know that our hours are Monday through Saturday. We're here from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., except on Wednesdays and Saturdays. We close at 1 o'clock, and we're closed on Sundays. We do close also on holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, and Martin Luther King Jr. birthdays. So please give us a call anytime you have a question about this. And again, I appreciate your time today. And again, please feel free to tune in next month. We'll be here next month with a new subject. And I appreciate your having me today. And again, I thank you for listening. And again, this is WCEG Network Radio. Thank you for your time.